your body is not only fat. There are bones, there are muscles, there is blood, there is water, there is food going in and out, there is lymph, there are nerves, there is skin. There are so many things in your body. How are you forgetting all these things and thinking you're losing only fat? Now you're standing on the weighing scale. How do you know you have lost fat or gained fat?
Hello! Welcome to brand new episode of Phone Call Diaries. As you already noticed, today's episode is all about health and fitness. Today, Madhavi, a complete lifestyle coach, is with us to discuss in-depth concepts of health and well-being. Without any delay, let's get started. Hey Madhavi.
Hi Ajita.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah. So how's quarantine going?
Yeah, it's going fine, and maybe we've got adjusted to this new routine.
True.
It's been already 60 days and it's no longer difficult. It's just like a new routine.
New way of life.
Exactly.
It is said that in 66 days, if you do something continuously, it becomes a habit.
Yeah, we have
We have 6 days more to go to make it a habit.
So we have all made very new habits, and some good and some bad. And my podcast is all about that. So,
yes.
So this sudden pandemic has threw us actually into this whole new different lifestyle, and I wanted to see how people are coping up, and I wanted to help people to cope up better, to cope up for the good.
Yes,
So
that's actually a very good thought. That is actually a very good thought. Very nice thought, actually. During this time, actually, people are saying that things are such a problem and such a worry. But then if we flip the coin and look at the other side, there are new opportunities, new ways of looking at things. So
That's so true.
So at my fitness studio, since morning, we are on gadgets. Everything is online.
Yeah, see, now we completely transformed ourselves into a new person on online, and so like all of this around, I'm just giving a little dose of positivity to the people.
Okay. Okay. That's really good.
Thank you. And so let's get started. Okay.
Yes.
So you say like this is a time of crisis, and we all know that. But you say this is the best time for getting healthier.
Yes. This actually a time of crisis always, no matter if we can't look at also, but the time of crisis actually brings good things into our life. We can't see it immediately, but then as we learn, as we grow, things transform and turn into something totally different.
That's so true.
Anything new you start, in the starting there will always be confusion, always be chaos, and then you will learn the new ways, and then you will actually start becoming a master in the new way. And when you learn the new way of living, you learn so many easier ways of survival. So that during this time when there was this black fever that had come in England and all the European countries at one time, people were dying. Around 3 million people died during that time.
Yes, so true.
A huge pandemic. But after that, people learned the importance of medicine. People learned the importance. Medicine advanced so much during that time.
And people learned importance of as well at the same time.
Yes, and people.
So
after the pandemic is when the age of vehicles came about. People used to go about in horse carts before the pandemic, but after the pandemic came this era of motor vehicles, cars.
Yes. Yes.
during that time. So any crisis that comes always brings a new change along with it, and in every area, not only health, not only wellness, not only government organizations. Every organization is going to face a new thing, new change, and it will bloom up into a wonderful experience for everyone.
So true. Agreed 100%.
And this crisis time is the right time for focusing on health. I cannot emphasize any more. As much I feel the importance is so much for health right now that people have not yet understood the depth of how important our health is. This pandemic is actually the right time to understand the importance of our health. There are so many people who would say, I just want weight loss, I just want to lose weight. But right now it is not about weight loss or weight gain. It is about health. It is about building that immune system. The immune system that people have neglected for so long. That is the same immune system that is the prime focus right now.
Exactly. And I see people are more aware about the immune system more than the body shape. I could see that difference, that change, and that is very good. And people are actually talking about the real health. And so this brings to my first question. So, Martha, what is your definition of health and fitness?
What is my definition of health and fitness? If you are falling ill every time the weather is changing, that is from summer to rainy to winter, every time there is a weather change, if you're falling ill, if you're having a cold, if you're having a cough, your immune system is weak and you're not healthy. If you are saying that certain fruits, if I eat, you are unable to take it and you're getting cold, your body is becoming weak. There are many people who can't take bananas, who can't take oranges. They get a cough and a cold. Many people get sneezing sensation. That is not an allergic reaction. That is the immune system being weak and you're not healthy. There are many people who I know who are fat and super healthy, and there are many people I know who are thin and are totally unhealthy. So basic scale is not the judge for the health of the body. So my mantra of fitness is, can you move your body the way you want to move it? Can you do the activities you want to do? Are you finding it difficult to just sit and stand? Are you taking support when you are standing up or sitting down? When you're walking around, moving around, are you getting tired easily? Are you able to stand for long hours, move forward, work the whole day and still be energetic? These are the parameters on which you should check your health, not on a weighing scale.
That's exactly. So here, I wanted to get into the next question or next doubt I have. So, as I see recently, we have named ourselves with the body images or body shapes, saying athletic or masculine. But when I just Googled about like what it is, I have found there are 3 types, and Ayurveda also mentions there are 3 types of body types, and I really don't understand the correlation. Can you just explain me a little about that?
Okay, so the 3 types of body images that you're talking about, 3 body types that are there. Usually humans, when they are born, they come with a genetic makeup. You take your parents and your forefathers, foremothers makeup, and your body is made according to that. So there will be 3 types of body shapes based on that. There will be endo, ecto, and meso. Endo is the large size body. They are naturally large in size. They are not unhealthy. Their body is naturally large in size, and they are actually healthy and fit, and they are agile, they are more moving, they are more active. I'm not talking about the people who are fat and are lazy and are not able to move their bodies. They have made themselves fat. I'm talking
Yes.
about the people who have been fat from childhood, who have had a big body from childhood. They're actually energetic and their body type is like that. That is endotype.
Yes, I really met a few really good people who has body type.
Yes. The second type is ectotype, who are extremely thin. Their natural body type is thin. Women who are this type, even if they give birth to a child, they might gain some weight and then they will lose the weight again.
Yes.
And we go back to that shape. So ectotype are the thin type. Their genetic makeup is such that they are thin naturally. And their body is, even if they want to gain weight, it is very difficult for them to gain weight. These are the people who actually want to gain weight and they are very thin.
Got it.
There are many people of that category. Again, they are also healthy. They are also fit. It is just their genetic makeup that makes up their body like that.
Yes.
And then the third type is the mesotype. That is the middle type. They are neither fat nor thin. They are, body shape is right in the middle.
Got it.
So their body won't be fat or thin. They might gain weight and they might lose it, or they might lose weight and they might gain it. But they will always be balanced in that meso category, in the middle category.
Yeah. So
these people, actually what happens is they usually in this category, because of the current lifestyle, they tend to gain weight and become fat, and they think my body type is fat type. No, your body type is middle meso type. You have made it fat with the kind of lifestyle that you're having. Now, what I want people to take from this is check what your body type is.
So how do we check them?
Yeah, is it ecto, is it endo, is it meso? Look back at your parents, your grandparents. How are they? Natural body structure, how are they? Look at their childhood photos, not their adult photos. Many people are fat in their adulthood but actually thin in their childhood.
Yes.
Many people are fat in their childhood but thin in their adulthood.
So true.
So check back at their childhood photos and all. So if they are the fat kind, the endo kind, then your body type also is the endo kind. That doesn't mean you have fat in the body. That means you just need to exercise, keep yourself healthy and love your body the way it is. You can shed weight, but your body frame is such that it is large.
Got it.
So you should actually appreciate your body the way it is. Yes.
How to eat healthy and not get obsessed about eating healthy, because I have seen people who exercise, who are very good in shape and who are really healthy. I mean, they look healthy at least, but they would feel super guilty for that one cake slice they had.
Yes.
So what is the difference between being healthy and not obsessing of being healthy? Because it would affect their mental health anyways.
True. Okay. Now, when it comes to obsessing about what you're eating, again, what I would like to say is, it is always better to have a check on what you are eating. It is called conscious eating. Yes. See, animals on the roads, pet dogs, pet cats and all, they'll eat anything that is given.
Yeah.
They'll just gobble up the food. They don't even consciously taste it or understand what is going inside. But as a human being, we have our brain, which is an intelligent brain. And we need to understand what we are putting into our mouth.
Yes.
The biggest problem is that we want to satisfy the tongue, not the tummy.
So true. A lot of even I do that.
Yeah, so it is absolutely fine. Yes, both are important.
Yeah.
But what if you give 1 day in the week for your tongue and the remaining 6 days for your tummy? You be religious about the 6 days where you eat healthy. You don't have to starve yourself. The problem is that people are thinking that I have to starve myself if I'm on a diet. I have to constantly keep feeling hungry.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is eat the home cooked food. The food that you have been eating since you were born. What was the food that was given to you? Eat that home cooked food in controlled proper measures. Problem is that people will not get up till they burp, till their stomachs are absolutely full, and they want all the masala, mirchi and all the spices in their food. So that actually upsets the stomach big time.
Yes.
You want to live long and keep doing all the things you are doing, you have to eat in a proper way no matter what. Now, when it comes to eating home cooked food, if you get this quarantine time, I'm telling you, this is the best time that has taught everyone to eat home cooked food. No matter what, even if you are eating unhealthy, you're still making it at home and eating. If you're eating fried food, if you're eating junk food, it is still home cooked, which means you know what you're putting in it, and you won't put any kind of unhealthy old things, rotten things. In the hotels, they just put rotten things, they deep fry in the same oil.
Yes.
These kind of things won't be there at home. So still you are eating healthy just because you're making it at home and eating. You just need to check how much you are eating. You need to do the conscious eating habit.
Got it.
The minute you get into that loop, right? Yes, when I started this, it was difficult for me. Yes, it was tough for me. I was used to eating junk food. I used to eat at odd times. I used to eat, I not even focus on how much quantity I'm taking. I'd just take and eat as much as I can. And then I would realize, oh my God, my stomach is so full, then I would stop. So instead of that, if we can just control on our eating and eat the home food that is there, the normal food without much of spices, what our stomach can take in just 1 month's time, you will see such a drastic difference in your body structure. Just in 1 month's time.
So true.
Just by changing the food pattern. You don't need to do high funda stuff that the Americans and the food industry is telling you to do. You don't need to eat oats. You don't need to drink green tea. You don't need to go on a strict diet. You don't need to eat keto. You don't need to become a vegan. You don't need to do all these things. Just the food you have been eating since your birth, if you eat that at your home in controlled quantities at the right time, your body structure will drop immediately. It will come into shape immediately. Because your body is waiting to be healthy, but you're not giving it a chance to be healthy.
So true.
So when I started doing this thing, what started happening was, see, my tongue is addicted. When I was eating in the starting, my tongue is addicted to the junk food, addicted to the spicy masala and fried stuff. So obviously I'm craving for that. When I started this new lifestyle, after a month, after 2 months, my body got used to this new lifestyle. So now whenever I'm eating the junk or anything, my tongue is also unable to take it that much. To a certain extent, yes, I'm able to eat. After that, my tongue itself is stopping me. My stomach itself is stopping me.
I faced it.
So that becomes your new normal.
Yeah.
Before Corona, how was it? Everybody was roaming around the roads, going around everywhere. Everybody was bindas. Post Corona, what happened? You were forced into lockdown. You were forced into a lifestyle where you had to restrict yourself. Did you do it or not?
Yes, we did it.
It is the same thing with the body. What habit you inculcate into yourself is the habit that will stay for life. If you inculcate, it is you. It is your mind. What we are thinking is, I can't control, yaar, I can't do this. You're telling because you are not able to do it. It is in your control. Whether you want to be healthy or not is your choice. Now, in that thing, if you can just sit for 1 day in the week and enjoy your favorite meal, whatever it is. Supposing the most common is biryani. Supposing you just enjoy that biryani that 1 day. Sit and relax and eat slowly. Don't be in a hurry that it is going to get finished off. Sit and relax and eat and enjoy the food in the mouth. Then your mouth also, you chew it properly, you digest it properly, you enjoy the food, and then the next day you're back to the healthy lifestyle. That way you're waiting for that 1 day to come. You know that is there. You are going to go and eat that tasty food. And so you will commit to these other days when you are eating healthy. And there are many healthy options online which you can just check and make tasty dishes which are healthy also. Nowadays there are so many options. We don't need to eat unhealthy food which is
Bland.
not good to taste or bland taste. You can make tasty food even with good health.
Got it.
So Madhvi, a lot of people take inspiration from YouTube. And when I see those YouTube videos, I could see people losing 30 kilos, 40 kilos and uploading their videos. I mean, I don't want to demotivate them. I understand how much motivation is needed and how much dedication is needed to shut down that weight. But sometimes it feels, why did they allow themselves to go into that position wherein they had gone tremendously, they have changed to that weight and wanting to shed it? Why can't people keep checking on their weight?
First of all, people don't realize that they are gaining weight. It is a very slow process that happens.
Yes.
You don't realize that you have gained the weight. The weight, the small kgs that you gain, that becomes your new normal every time. Okay, I was 50. Okay, 52. Okay, 53. Okay, 55. And before you know, you're 90 or 100. And that every time you're moving forward in the weighing scale, that becomes your new normal.
Yeah.
In your mind, you are gaining weight, but then you are just adjusting with it. If you gain 30 kilos in 3 days, wouldn't it panic you? Wouldn't you do something about it?
Of course I will.
Yeah, so people don't notice that change immediately. And suddenly when they look back and they say, oh my God, I was so lean and I was this and I have become like this, now I have to lose weight. That is the first thing. That is the first thing that people are not able to understand, that their body is gaining weight. The second thing is, the main culprit is the family and the parents.
Okay.
What example are the parents setting? The mothers want to endlessly sacrifice their life for the children and show how great they are. And the fathers want to be busy with their jobs and show how much of stress they are taking to raise the children. So where is the example being set of a healthy lifestyle?
Yeah.
Suppose imagine a home culture where the mother and father are working. They get up in the morning, they both work out. The children see them working out. They choose healthy options of eating.
Yes.
They eat healthy. They stay fit. They drink a lot of water. They sleep on time. They're not on mobile phones and gadgets too much. What does the child learn from them?
Yeah, it will be a lifestyle for them.
There was one incident. I want to tell a story here. I had one of my clients wanted to meet me after a long time. And she said, chalo, let's meet up. We'll meet for lunch. I said, okay, it's my cheat day, so I can go and eat. Let's go to Pizza Hut, I only said. Because it had been long time since I had pizza and I wanted to eat pizza. So we met at Pizza Hut and we sat and we ordered for pizza. We ordered for a veg pizza. And she started telling me that my son is not at all moving. He's so lazy. I keep putting him in some sports activity or the other and he just quits and comes back. He just doesn't listen. He doesn't eat the food I make. He always wants junk outside food. I don't know what to do with him. You please tell me some tips and some ideas on how to get him thin. He's gained a tummy. He's just 5 years old and he's gained a tummy and he's gained weight and he's looking so chubby. This and that she was telling. Then the pizza came.
Okay.
That man cut the pizza and put one slice for me and put one slice for her. What was the first thing she did? She picked up all the vegetables from the pizza and put it on the side.
Oh.
And picked up the pizza and ate it. So I looked at her plate and I said, so you don't eat vegetables, huh? And she looked at the vegetable and said, oh God, it's so difficult for me to eat vegetables. It just doesn't go in.
Okay.
Then I told, your expressions are also like how your son gives them, You're talking exactly like your son, and your expressions also are like how he would say when he doesn't want to eat something. Oh, I have to really start eating. I will start this from next week, this day. So what happens is, first of all, before correcting your children, look at what you are doing.
True.
And if you are a person who doesn't have children, who is not married, and you are facing health challenges and all, whenever you get married, whenever you have children, you are going to be the one setting the example.
Exactly.
You go home, you will be the example for your parents. So in my house, my parents, whenever I go, everything becomes healthy, okay? Suddenly they will make healthy food and eat healthy, and my dad wants to eat healthy food and this and that. They will make some junk food also, which I also am okay with, because sometimes you should eat that also. You should not deprive yourself of that, right? So, but then they would become healthy. So what you're setting is, you're setting a standard.
Yes.
You're setting a standard. Okay, Madhavi comes. Madhavi focuses on health, so I better straighten myself up at least in front of her.
Got it.
So wherever I go, I don't need to worry about junk food. Healthy food automatically comes to me, because I have created that trend that health is more important than anything else.
Got it.
Yeah. And I promote Indian food. I say Indian food is the most healthiest form of eating. Promoting Indian food is the best thing you can do.
I can't I can't support that.
Yeah.
more than how much I would want to. So let's make some other podcast on food as well, especially on food.
Yes. So what I'm trying to tell is, when people are trying to suddenly be healthy, suddenly work on their health and all, they need to focus on why they are doing it in the long term, not just for losing weight 30-40 kilos for now. If you're going to lose 30 kilos now and gain 60 later, there is no point. What is your plan for the next 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 years, till how many ever years you are alive? That starts with the mindset. Okay? If you keep that in mind, that pain threshold in mind, then you start focusing on what you want your body to be like, not weight-wise, health-wise. The activities that you want to do. Like, for example, I am able to do 15 push-ups now. I want to be able to do 30 push-ups. I am able to do 25 squats now. I want to be able to do 70 squats.
Got it.
Are you able to understand? I am pushing you towards the positive. Keep the pain in mind. This is the pain. I don't want to go on that pain. I want to be on this side. And on this side, when I am here, I want to focus on pushing the bar every time. Now I'm able to do 30 push-ups. I want to be able to do 45 push-ups. I want to be able to do 100 squats. I want to be able to hold plank at least for 2 minutes.
Okay.
So when I keep these kind of targets, which are like exciting for me, like every time I do it, oh my God, I did it. Oh my God, today I could not do it. Oh, today I did it. So when your mind is focusing on doing these things, automatically you're not thinking about my weight is increasing, my weight is decreasing or not.
So we need to be seeing the progress in our fitness and health than progress in the weight loss.
Exactly. Now when you want to do that, imagine you have eaten heavy food the previous day. Will you be able to do those squats and those push-ups? So whatever it is that pushes you, your push point will be different. Find your push point. Okay. And then push from there. Then automatically the previous day when you're eating, you will be careful about what you're eating, how much you're eating, because you want to go and do that the next day. Yeah, you're understanding that. Now the weight scale, gaining weight, losing weight will never be an issue. I don't remember when the last time I checked my weight.
Pretty much when we see the progress in the fitness levels, we don't really intend to. Yeah,
I don't check my weight. When people ask me what is your weight, I don't know what to say because I don't check my weight. I know it will be something in that 54, 55, 56 range somewhere. According to my height, my weight is ideal.
Yeah.
That is what I know. I checked it in some doctor's clinic when I had gone for a checkup or something. That's it.
So, coming back to the weighing scale, so we've got into this topic. I just wanted to ask, what is the healthy number of, some people check their weight every day. So what is the healthy number per week or per month to check your weight?
If you ask me personally, I would say throw that weighing machine outside.
Yeah.
Throw it out. Remove that examination. Then you will study better for your exams.
Yes.
The point is people are just mucking up for their exams and vomiting it on the paper and forgetting what they have studied. Rather than that, increase your knowledge. Rather than looking at that weighing scale and checking how much your weight is, chuck it out and start focusing on what are the things you are able to do. Are you able to lift that cooker in the kitchen with one hand? Are you able to quickly and switch off the gas before the milk boils out?
Yeah.
Are you able to lift that cylinder? Are you able to lift those heavy bags from outside your house to inside your house? Are you able to go for a 1 hour long walk, brisk walk without getting tired? Are you able to jog for 1 hour? If walking is easy, then jogging. If jogging is easy, then running. And where does the weighing scale even matter? For those people who are obese and want to lose weight, you need to keep a check on your weight and focus on your health. Yes, you need to check your weight once a month. I'm talking about those obese people who are above 90 kgs, 100 kgs, who really have more than 30-40 kgs to lose. Because you have such a large number to change, then you need to keep a measure. That theek hai bhai, I need to lose this much, 5 kgs, 4 kgs in 1 month I need to lose. So I need to keep it. Once you reach your ideal weight, supposing you're a person who is 95 kgs and you have reached your ideal weight is 60 kgs depending on your height. Suppose you have reached your 60 kgs and you're absolutely stable for 3 months. Then just chuck that weight scale and continue doing the workouts and the lifestyle that you're having. Stop checking your weight and keep your body in track. Go out, go for a walk, go for a trek, go for a hike, climb stones, climb boulders, climb mountains, climb hills.
Got it.
Do these kind of activities. Then go for swimming. If you're able to do 1 lap with great difficulty, keep a target of 10 laps. So that is more exciting than a stupid weighing scale. It's very, very draining out when you have to see a weighing scale.
Because it gets into obsession. Like once we keep tracking ourselves. So the thing is the weight keeps fluctuating. If we see every day, it's like yesterday I was 54 and today suddenly I've gone into 55. What did I eat? What did I do? What wrong did I do?
There is water. Your body is not only fat. There are bones, there are muscles, there is blood, there is water, there is food going in and out, there is lymph, there are nerves, there is skin. There are so many things in your body. How are you forgetting all these things and thinking you're losing only fat? Now you're standing on the weighing scale. How do you know you have lost fat or gained fat? It can be blood. It can be water.
Yeah.
It can be muscle. It can be bone.
Exactly.
Then how are you going to check?
Yeah, this is very interesting point actually.
So, rather than that, if I am checking that, I'm able to do 15 to 20 push-ups, that means that my muscle has improved and my fat has automatically gone down, na?
Makes sense.
If I'm able to do 1,000 skipping rope, once I could do only 10 skipping rope, and today I'm able to do 1,000 skipping rope. My body fat percentage has come down, right? Because I'm able to lift my body and jump like that so easily. Isn't that the right parameter? That is what I have always been telling people, and I've got into a neutral state in my mind that, okay, weight loss, okay, fine, okay, weight loss, okay. So, because people don't understand that it is not a long-term solution. Weight loss is not a long-term solution.
So nice chatting with you, Madhavi, and this is the last question for today. I'm sorry. So, what is that one thing you wanted to give it out to the people?
Okay, this is a good question, and I really wanted to talk to all the women out there who want to have kids, who want to conceive and become pregnant. There are many women who are having health issues and unable to conceive. It is not because you go to the doctor and the doctor says you lose weight, you will be able to conceive. And you're focusing only on weight loss.
I've seen many people like that.
But yes. Today I want to speak to those specific women who want to have kids and are struggling to just lose weight and on the contrary losing their health completely. I want these people to do few activities. Today's take away few activities at their home. When are they eating? When are they getting up in the morning? When are they sleeping in the night? What is the first thing they're doing after getting up in the morning? And what is the last thing they're doing before going to bed? 99% of these people will be with the phone. The minute you get up in the morning, the first thing they check their phone. When they sleep in the night, they would go late night, keep watching the phone or the laptop or some screen. Do you know how that affects your hormone levels? Do you know how that affects your body? Do you know the radiations from the phone is bad for your body, especially for the uterus of a female? Next, what are you eating? How many women eat breakfast?
That is the biggest problem of...
That is the most important meal of the day. How many women eat lunch on time? 3-4 o'clock is not lunch, and Maggi noodles is not lunch. How many people are eating proper lunch at 1 o'clock, 1 p.m.? How many people are eating proper dinner? You will be shocked if I tell you what time is actual dinner time.
Before 7, right?
Yes.
I am one of the guilties.
Yes. You should be eating... you should be eating before 7 o'clock because your body goes to sleep after 8. So your body, you put in the food, it digests the food, all the work is done, the body says, good, I am going to sleep. And then you put the food at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock.
Newest trend of late night munching. Hashtag late night munching.
Yes. And then you say, you say you can't conceive. Who is the person who is spoiling their health? I would like to end this session with one story. I went to visit one of my friends. She was pregnant. She was carrying and it was her 9th month. And the doctor told her to, 1 week was there for her due date and she wanted to go for the cesarean C-section. So the doctor told her to admit herself 1 week before so that if there is any issue or any complication, they will be there to assist. So I went down to the hospital to meet her once she got admitted. I went in the morning. I was there the whole day, but then I was juggling between work and home, going and coming to the hospital that day. So I went in the morning. She had chips. The hospital had given her proper food, which had all the dishes, which had the correct consistency of protein, carbs, fats, everything, which she's supposed to eat. She had a chips packet beside her, which she was munching, and she said, I don't want to eat this. So her mom got some food from home, which was again some junk food. Then came the lunchtime. She was having biscuits beside her, and she was munching biscuits at 1 o'clock. And lunch came at 1, which she was kept over there by the hospital people.
God.
She ate it at 4 o'clock. Okay, and then after that, she evening time she had tea. Tea is the worst thing you can give your body.
Yeah.
Especially when you're pregnant.
Oh.
Or when you want to conceive. Okay, and she was having tea with biscuits, with snacks, with mixture. Then came dinner time. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 11:30. She wants to have biryani. So when you are being so careless with your body, how do you expect your body to be all healthy and nice and listen to you and conceive when you want it to, have kids, healthy kids the way you want it to, be healthy after pregnancy also? How do you expect your body to be that way if you are not giving it the help and support? That is the takeaway I want all the ladies, all the women to take.
That's the really great ending today for this show. So let's really have one more discussion on food, especially because I really wanted to know a lot, and I'm sure many people would want to know about food again.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Ajita. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I had a good time talking. I hope people take the advantage of what I have spoken and start making changes in their lifestyle. I hope people focus on their immune system, especially during this coronavirus time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.